Alright, y'all, we're gonna be starting with an amazing video for today about how my friend got cuffed in school. Alright, but to start off, obviously, I don't condone or encourage the topics that are gonna be in this video. This video is strictly for entertainment and education purposes for your YouTube, of course. And let's get into the video, shall we? Alright, how should we start this off? Alright, let's start by the beginning of the day. So, this story takes place when I was still in high school. I'd say about junior year, probably junior year. So it was a normal day at school, and I w- I was in automotive class. I'm into cars, I'm big into cars. So I wanted to fix something on my car. I wanted to fix my rims. So I decided, let me bring my car into the shop, and we could work on it in class. Um, and something about me, right? When I was in high school, I would get into a lot of trouble. Not with anything crazy, but mostly with speeding, stuff like that in my car, obviously. I don't encourage or condone that. Obviously, the only spot to be doing that stuff is on an enclosed racetrack, but that's what I did and there's no changing it. So I decided to bring my car in, and my first period of the day was agriculture, right? And in my days in high school, people would go into the restroom and they would, how do I put this lightly? They would inhale stuff that wasn't oxygen. They would inhale flavored smoke, if you will, and THC pens. Let's keep it, keep it real. So this particular morning, we decided. So the building that this is in a completely separate building than the main building because it's where the automotive shop is. But my first period, which is agriculture, is also in that same building, right? It's like the shop building. So, we go into this building, and me and my friend, let's call him, we're gonna call him Matthias, right? So Matthias, he is, he likes to indulge in the smoke, right? So we decided to hit up the restroom because you're not gonna smoke in school in the middle of the hallway. You gotta find a secret spot. So we decide, let's go up to the bathroom and see what's going on in there, right? So we go, and if I remember correctly, I didn't have anything on me this day. I didn't have nothing on me to smoke, but my friend, he had a THC pen, and I think he had a vape too, right? So we go, and this bathroom is jam packed. It's jam packed full of people, right? Like you can't move. It's packed like sardines in there. And everyone, they all have the same idea. They're doing the same thing as us. Smoking in the bathroom before class. Edgar's hitting blinkers off the pen, going to class ripped, right? No one wants to be in school, so they're taking the edge off a bit, if you will, right? So, we do what we do, and we go to class. And I think during this class, I don't know if it was during this, it had to be, because that day, my friend, he gave me a vape because I didn't have nothing, and he was just looking out for a homie. It was used, but a vape is a vape, so he gave it to me, right? And we're sitting in class, faded as usual, listening to this bullshit, whatever the teacher's talking about, and this teacher, she's one of those teachers that, bro, it's the teachers that all the students know she's bad, but we'll get into that more in a different video. So, class is about to end, and we go to leave, but before we go to the shop class to work on my car, we decide, let's hit the bathroom one more time. So we go, it's just me and my homie this time, and, we start chiefing it up, chiefing, and it's about time to leave because class is damn near over. So we decide, alright, let's leave. But I still have his THC pen on me, and I have the vape that I got as a gift earlier that day. So all my friend has on him is a vape. And so we're about to leave the restroom. And the way this bathroom is set up, there's one stall or two, or I mean urinals, two urinals, one or two, and then a stall and then a sink. And this restroom is actually, I don't know if y'all know of the JROTC. It's like an army class, basically, a military class in school. I don't know what it's for, but they have their own locker room. So this is their locker room restroom. But the way it works, when you walk into this extra building, there's a door, and if you open that door, you could either go straight into the hallway into another door, or turn right into this door. So it's a two-door to get into the restroom. The restroom's to the right. So right as we're about to open this door, we hear a click from the second door. I mean the first door, and that's not a good sign. But we don't think too much of it. So right as I'm about to leave, we see two APs, head administration, and apparently they're looking for my friend, and they said they were looking for me, but it's conspiracy because they said all they had was a description. So a little backstory. Apparently, when we were in the restroom earlier that morning, right? Apparently there was a snitch. That's what they said, but or that's what we found out. I don't remember. This is a while ago because I've been out of high school for a minute, but someone probably snitched on us. So my friend, now he's panicking because his parents, they're real strict, and he's already been caught up once before. And what happens here if you get caught? So the rules would change each year, but this year it was lighter. You would just go to alternative school if you got caught with a vape or something like that. But usually it was ISS before, like they changed it. But this year specifically, you would get an alternative school, basically a school meant for the bad kids, air quotations. But yeah, so we're trying to leave, but they didn't want us to leave because they were suspicious of us for the snitch or whatever reason. So now shit's hitting the fan. Shit's getting real. So they dragged me out, and I'm complying because what I know, what not to do, the more you resist, the worse it's gonna be for yourself. So I comply, I go with him, and the way it works at our school, the APs, they can't search you because they don't have the authority to. They need the school officer to search you, if I'm correct. So they pull me out, and I'm standing outside, and now they're trying to get my friend, but he's not going down like without a fight. He's not going down easily. So he's half in the door, half out the door, and they're trying to grab him and muscle him out. But he's not letting that slide. He's trying to think of any excuse he could get to go back into the bathroom and flush whatever he has, which I don't know how he's gonna flush that because it was too big, but that's besides the point. So now I'm on the floor because I'm dying laughing. That's what's going on. Because what's going on is they're trying to pull him out, but as they're pulling him out, he's resisting and screaming at the top of his lungs, insisting that he needs to use the restroom, take a poop, right? He's saying that I need to take a poop, I need to take a poop, and he's screaming, right? And they're like, no, 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 you can't, you can't. And they start calling for backup. They start calling for the school officer, right? And this is where hits the fan, right? Eventually, I think they muscle him out and he wasn't able to flush it. But they called, the officer finally shows up, and I'm dying laughing because this is just like a funny situation at the end of the day. And excuse me, excuse me, but um, so I don't know. They think he has like real paraphernalia on him or something, or they just don't like him because he has a bad rep with these APs, right? So to get to get the officer to search him quickly, they pull a disgusting tactic out of the bag. They yell for the cop stating he has a weapon or a firearm, right? Because if in the protocol, if they think someone has a weapon, they immediately have to get searched. So it ups the scenario quick. So now, boom, they're not playing. They grab him and they pull us into the ROTC room to search us, right? And they're focused on my friend here. And mind you, he only has a vape. I'm the one with the real contraband on me, the THC and the vape, right? So this is good for me. Like, it's looking good for me. They're searching him, and all they find is that vape, and they're muscling him. And while they're doing that, um, the other AP comes up to me and he asks me. He says, "All right, we're gonna have to search you once we get down there. Do you have anything on you?" So I just hand him the vape. Like, I'm straight up. I just give him the vape, and that's it. But I still have the pen on me, and I'm trying to figure out if I could hide it or not. But the thing is, I've never been caught up before, so I don't know protocol. And I've heard rumors that they search you twice. They search you when they first catch you and when they get down, and they wand you. They use a metal detector. So I'm thinking at this point, like, there's no way out of this for me. Like, I'm not gonna be able to hide this pen, and they're on dick about this. So before we leave, I just end up giving it to him. Like, there's no point. All right, so there was some crucial details I forgot because this was a long time ago. But we get pulled down to the office, and my friend gets searched first, and then it's me. So in there is the main AP and the head officer, right? And they have these test kits. They test the substances in there to make sure, because they don't just take your word for it apparently. But so they're asking me like, what is this? What is this? So I tell them this is THC and this is nicotine. Apparently he didn't believe me that it was nicotine for the other one, but so this is the funny part. So they test the THC, right? And they let me know. They say, all right, if it turns purple, it's THC. And I start cracking jokes with them. I'm like, so if it turns purple real quick, like that's that good stuff, that's that gas. And the officer kind of started laughing, and the AP was like, in theory, yes, the quicker it turns purple, um, the more potent it is. So they test it, and it immediately turns purple, and that was just funny. And he was asking me about like, what's this other one? What is it? What is it? I know it's not nicotine. I know it's not. And even the officer is like, dude, it's nicotine. Like why are you on him about this? And then I forgot, like me and the officer start roasting this AP. I forgot what exactly it was about, but because I just remember no one really liked him. Is this dude? He wore a tutu to school, but we're not gonna get into that. Um, so yeah, they're searching us, and they actually liked me in there, so it wasn't too big of a deal. We're kind of chopping it up, but at the end of the day, they still needed to do what they needed to do, and they couldn't send me to the alternative school that day, so they said, all right, you just gotta go home, and that's about it. So they almost let me drive home, but then the AP, obviously he sold. He was like, oh wait, I forgot. You might be under the influence, so you're not allowed to ride home. So I forgot how I got home that day. To be honest, I don't remember. But I got home somehow, and then it was into the alternative school program. If y'all want um, a story or a series about the alternative school program, that would be a good series because crazy stuff went on there. Because just think about it, it's all the bad kids in one place from middle school all the way up to high school. Obviously they separate them. There was rumors about middle schoolers being in there for firearms, stuff like this, and they would they would make you take your socks and shoes off because people apparently would sneak pills in through their toes and a whole bunch of stuff. But that's a whole different thing for a whole nother time. So if y'all want to hear about that, I'll gladly make a video. Leave recommendations on what you want to hear in the comments. I think this like about wraps up. Sorry, wait, I got to burp. Oh, fuck, wait. But that about wraps up this episode of My Friend Got Cuffed. Honestly, I forgot to mention the part where he got cuffed, but they said he had a weapon, and he started cuffing him and to search him because he was resisting. That's my fault for not mentioning that part, but I think that about wraps up this video. If y'all want to hear about the alternative school program, let me know, and I think it was a good video. Bozo out. I think that's it, right?